Breaking news. Dirt racing icon Scott Bloomquist dies in plane crash at 60. We begin tonight's broadcast with tragic news from the world of motorsports. Scott Bloomquist, a name synonymous with dirt racing, has tragically passed away following a plane crash near his home in Mooresburg, Tennessee. The motorsport world is in mourning as it comes to terms with the loss of one of its most iconic figures. Scott Bloomquist, a man whose career was as storied as it was successful, has left behind a legacy that will endure for generations. He was just 60 years old. Bloomquist's death was confirmed by Hawkins County Mayor Mark DeWitt earlier today, following the crash that occurred on Friday. Local authorities have reported that investigations into the crash are currently underway, with both the Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) and the National Transportation Safety Board (NTSB) actively involved in the inquiry. The cause of the crash has yet to be determined, and officials have stated that a full investigation will be necessary to understand what led to this tragic event. To truly understand the impact of Scott Bloomquist, one must look back at a career that spanned more than 4 decades. Since making his debut in 1980, Bloomquist amassed over 600 victories across various dirt racing touring series. His dominance on the track was unparalleled, earning him 9 national championships and a place in the National Dirt Late Model Hall of Fame in 2002. Bloomquist was not just a driver but a revolutionary figure in the sport, known for his innovative approach to car design and setup. Montage of Bloomquist's career highlights, with clips of him racing, winning championships, and accepting awards. The montage should include interviews with Bloomquist, where he discusses his passion for racing and his innovative mindset. To discuss Bloomquist's impact on the sport, we are joined by expert name, a motorsport analyst and longtime follower of dirt racing. Scott Bloomquist was more than just a driver, he was an innovator. What he did for dirt racing is comparable to what the greatest innovators have done in their respective fields. He wasn't just about winning, though he did plenty of that. He was about pushing the boundaries of what was possible in a dirt late model car. His understanding of the vehicle and track conditions was unmatched. He was a pioneer who wasn't afraid to take risks, whether that was with his racing strategy or with the design of his race cars. Scott's presence in the dirt racing community was massive. Can you tell us more about how he was perceived by his peers and the fans? Scott Bloomquist was a polarizing figure in some ways. He had his detractors, but that was often because he was so fiercely competitive and successful. His fans, however, were loyal to the core. They loved him not just because he won races, but because of how he did it. His flair, his showmanship, and his unyielding will to win made him a legend. You could always count on Bloomquist to bring something extra to the race, something unpredictable and thrilling. His peers respected him, even if they didn't always agree with him. He was the standard against which many measured their careers. As news of his passing spread, tributes began pouring in from across the racing community. Brian Carter, CEO of the World Racing Group, reflected on the immense loss, stating that, "Scott Bloomquist was one of a kind, and he's probably the smartest guy I've ever been around when it comes to dirt racing." What he could do behind the wheel of a race car was matched by the ingenuity he put into building his race cars. He was a force on the track and off, with a personality as big as his list of accomplishments. He made dirt racing better with a presence that will be greatly missed. Play a recorded message or statement from former NASCAR driver Clint Bowyer, sad to hear of the passing of Scott Bloomquist. The stories are endless. You simply couldn't fit his life into just one movie, it'll take a series. Beyond the track, Bloomquist's life was a mix of triumphs and challenges. He was born on November 14, 1963, in Fort Dodge, Iowa, and later became one of the most well-known figures in dirt racing. He was inducted into the National Dirt Late Model Hall of Fame in 2002, just 2 decades after beginning his career. Off the track, Bloomquist faced his share of personal struggles, including legal issues and health problems. In March 2019, he was severely injured in a motorcycle accident in Daytona Beach, Florida, which led to extensive leg and hip injuries. Despite these setbacks, Bloomquist continued to contribute to the sport, showing resilience and a deep passion for racing that never wavered. Scott Bloomquist is survived by his mother, Georgie, and his daughter, Ariel Rouse. His family, like the rest of the motorsport world, is grappling with the sudden and devastating loss of a man who was not just a racer but a father and a son. In conclusion, Scott Bloomquist's passing marks the end of an era in dirt racing. His contributions to the sport are immeasurable, and his legacy will be felt for many years to come. As the racing community continues to mourn, we remember Scott Bloomquist not just for his extraordinary achievements on the track, but for the indelible mark he left on the world of motorsport. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family, friends, and fans during this difficult time. End with a video tribute showcasing Bloomquist's greatest moments on the track, accompanied by somber yet uplifting music. Thank you for joining us tonight. Stay tuned for more updates on this developing story as the investigation into the crash continues. For now, we say goodbye, but the legacy of Scott Bloomquist will live on forever in the hearts of racing fans around the world.